In this recording, I'm going to be speaking to Mark Eillis. Mark is our superstar of the month for our Bounce Mastermind group. Mark had a really great month with us, and he had managed to reach his target of over 34% of his tax returns achieved by the 31st of July. And that was all part of our tax return commitment club. Mark had made some really great inroads into increasing his prices, which he'd been part of our process and our system for increasing prices. And some of them you'll hear about where he hadn't increased probably much in over 10 years. Lots of great stuff. Mark reaches out to the community when he wants support. On a couple of these occasions, they were really sort of difficult. And I know that he probably would have found it harder to do it emotionally, but has embraced the group and really used what it's for. So let's get started. Let's hear from Mark and his journey so far in our Bounce Mastermind group. So today I am joined by Mark Eillis. Mark, if you could just introduce yourself and a little bit about who you are and your practice, and then we'll dive straight in with why we're on this call.
Yep, certainly. I'm Mark. I'm got a practice called Uni Solutions Limited, and I'm based in Lancaster, up in the northwest. I'm a sole practitioner. Been in practice for about 10 years now. In this. In my own practice, and before that I was in practice and in higher education, so come full circle really. So that's where I am, and that's what I'm doing.
Excellent, thank you. So today we are here because you are our superstar of the month, and well, I just wanted to quickly go through, obviously, some of the things that you had achieved during the month. So you're a member of our Bounce Mastermind community, and basically we recognised that you'd achieved quite a lot in the space of a month. One of them being that you had reached your target of 34% of the tax returns by our deadline of the 31st July. So that's part of our tax return commitment club. You'd had two quite big issues that you wanted some support with, and we always find that we appreciate it when people reach out for support, because that's what the community is there for. It's not just about what you can achieve, it's also about reaching out and finding some different ways to solve problems. And I know that you've gone through quite a lot of price increase process, which I will obviously come back to, but you also completed quite a lot of actions during the process. But just very quickly, what sort of made you, what was you going through which made you want to sort of join Bounce? What was going on for you?
I think there's a number of things. Firstly, I think being a sole practitioner, I felt quite isolated, so I did need a group to join, where you had support, where you could bounce ideas off, or if you had a little issue, you had someone you could ask, because when you're on your own, there's no one you could just turn to and say, "Oh, what do you think about this?" or "Would you do this? Would you do that?" So that was one issue. The second issue was I wasn't moving forward in the practice. I feel I've become a little bit stagnated, and I needed either a push or some guidance how to just move it up to that next level. And I think also being part of the Facebook group for the Accountants Mastermind, you sort of see the advice and you see what's going on, and you sort of think it'd be really nice to have that on a sort of almost on tap basis, because you see what yourself and Simon are up to, and what and you sort of think that would really help. So it was those sort of reasons, and then I think I came to the conclusion that it's just something I couldn't afford not to do, or at least not to give it a try, because I just needed that, I don't know, push, or just to get me to move on to the next level.
Okay. And when you think about being on your own, sort of what does that mean to you? So when you were feeling isolated, you said, I mean, what did that have detrimental effect on what was going on for you? Do you think that's what held you back in some instances?
Yes, I think it does, because you don't have anybody to second to refer to confirm what you should be doing or where you want to go. And I think you stay within your comfort zone in a way, and that ultimately limits you because there's a maximum to what you can actually do within your comfort zone. And you also want to know what everyone else is doing, how everyone else is dealing with, AML and all these other issues that are coming up all the time, which get in the way of actually doing the job that we sort of originally set out starting to do, all this admin and regulations. So there's that is a problem when you're on your own. You just don't know, you haven't got, like a manager in charge of, onboarding, or, you just chief everything, from, from the chief washer-upper to, signing off accounts. So it's really quite a lonely existence, really. I find, or certainly was finding.
No, brilliant, and I think that's really key to for other people. Being part of a community is always going to give you that, and I think from what you've said to me in the past, the accountability aspect of it as well has been. So you've gone from feeling alone and not knowing whether to take the next steps and things like that, and obviously you've just mentioned to me a little bit before about potentially taking on your first team member. So talk to me about. How that I think that's come about from sort of price increases, and also there was a particularly difficult conversation I know that you had to have with somebody around the price increase. So, how did that all come about? What was the situation there?
Well, the situation with that particular client was it was a sort of a legacy client. One of my very first clients, in fact. She's been with me for 10 years. And in that time, she's probably had about one price increase, and which when you look back, you think, why on earth have I done that? But you sort of think, no, it's her, and you've got a bit of a emotional connection, I suppose. So, but because I was doing the price increases and going through the exercise, it was a case of, well, no one's exempt from these price increases, and at the end of the day, I'm not a charity, and I've got family to support. So I did her price increase, and as you can imagine, because I haven't been a price increase for a very long time, it was a substantial increase. So I sent her the details of it all, the breakdown, etc., and sort of invited her to have a conversation, because it was a little bit too much of an increase to just, I didn't want to sort of say take it or leave it. It was more, let's have a bit of a conversation. So we had a conversation, and her initial reaction was, that's a big increase, and which it was. But then we went through the services she was getting for that increase, or for that fee. So she started to understand more about what she was getting and what she had been getting for the last 10 years almost. And then during that conversation, she then sort of mentioned in passing that one of the services she was getting, which was monthly management accounts, she wasn't doing anything with. She was just literally filing them. And that was it. She was getting no benefit from it. So I suggested to her, well, if you're not getting any benefit, why don't we just take that service out? And we can always add it back in. You could go down to quarterly management accounts, or you can go down to no management accounts. But if you're not getting any benefits, there's not really much point I don't want to be doing work that you're not getting the benefit for. So at the end of the conversation, we ended up taking out the management accounts, which means less work for me, but overall the fees were higher. So it was sort of a win-win for me, and it was a bit of a win for her in that the fee that she was going to now pay has gone down, and we're just taking out something that she's not going to miss. So it was a good outcome, even though it was a little bit of the conversation at the beginning looked like it was going to be a bit of a difficult conversation.
Yeah. So the part of what you were just talking about there is, so we have a process and a system in place that we shared with our Bounce members on how to go through the pricing increase process, because I think a lot of people, like you've said yourself as well, it's sometimes difficult and you get that block. Are you happy to share overall what that meant for you, the price increase process?
In actual terms, or
Yeah, however you want to do it, percentage. Or
well, I haven't got the numbers down,
no.
but I think, yeah, I mean, the price increase has worked quite well actually, because I mean, percentage wise, I think from memory, the percentage increase was quite a good high increase. I mean, more recent clients are not so much of a high increase, but all the legacy clients, yeah, it's substantial. I mean, I paid the bounce fees for the first year are well and truly paid for.
Brilliant.
So, if that's an indication, and probably for the next couple of years, you know what I mean? So it's more than paid for itself. But to me, that's not the only thing really, because you've got the intangible benefits that come from, like the WhatsApp group, where, it's not all work related necessarily, but it's a support network there that you can just, you can ask anything really, can't you? You'll get a response. So, there's so many elements to Bounce that I think it's it's a great thing. Whichever element you look at, there's a benefit, either tangible or non-tangible, but it's all benefits to me.
No, that's brilliant, and thank you for sharing that, because I think it's really important that people understand that it's for the accountants, the members themselves. It's not just, there is the price increase, there's the tax return commitment club, but overall, I think a lot of people talk about the support and the accountability that is in there, because it's very easy when you're on your own, like you say, to get stuck in something and then make a decision and then probably not commit to it. But publicly, people are supporting each other and committing to doing this stuff. So. Thank you very much for sharing all of that with us. It's brilliant, and I'm really enjoying your journey in Bounce, and really appreciate everything that you're committing to within the community.
Yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I should have done it years ago. You know what I mean? If Bounce had been around years ago, I should have done it years ago, because it is great, and you sort of realise that everybody, sometimes you see people posting in different social media things, and you think, yeah, they've made it, they know what they're doing, they're this, that, and the other. You actually join these groups and you realize we've all got the same problems, and we're all thinking the same things. How do we do that? What can we do about this? So I think it's absolutely brilliant. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. I don't think I need to ask anymore. That's that's it. That is as much of endorsement as we could possibly want. But as I say, the purpose for this really is for me to thank you and to congratulate you for being our superstar of the month.
Well, no, thank you, and you and Simon and Michelle. I think you do a brilliant job. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we'll speak to you soon.
Yep, you will. Thank you.